Hey there viewers, my name is Torinski and welcome back to another DCSS Sunday. Today we're of course jumping back into the new usual routine here, getting right back into some 15 rune runs. This time around, I think we're going to be going in with a ranged character to see how we can manage that, see if we can make it work. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll have to decide on which kind of species and background we want. I'm also crossing my fingers and hoping that my internet doesn't crash at any point, because I've been plagued by some connectivity issues at the start of the stream here for today, but hey, we'll just hope that it all works out, shall we? So without further ado, let's get ready to hop right into it, shall we? Oh, good old Fettuccine. That was a fun run for sure. I guess we didn't do where we last left off, but definitely a fun genie run if you weren't there. One of the wildest orb escapes that I've ever taken part in. A good time. But for today, which direction do we wish to go? There's some classic options. Things like Minotaur, you know, really good for both melee and ranged character builds. Decent aptitudes across the board and all of that. Null, of course, kind of in the middle for any kind of run. Things like Deep Elf and Kobold, both I believe have pretty good ranged aptitudes, but the flip side is that they're pretty squishy. Kobolds have a max size of weapon they can hold. So, with all of this taken into account, where I'm leaning towards at the moment is Formicid. It's a little bit sketchy. We'll never have access to teleports or blinks, which is always an interesting proposition. The flip side of it, though, is that we can use something like an Arbalist and a Tower Shield at the same time, so we should have much better defenses than the average ranged character does. And it does seem like a lot of fun. I always love my Formicid runs. So with that in mind, maybe we'll start there today and see if we can't make it work, shall we? Perfect. So that's going to be a Formicid Hunter, and oh gosh, I didn't even start to think about names. I mean, we can't just be Ant-Man again, right? Famous archers. Robin Hood. Any insect pun there? Nothing's coming to mind. I think we had Hugh Grant, we had Ulysses S. Ant. Oh gosh. Putting me on the spot there, and unfortunately my brain is not wired today to be able to functionally come up with anything clever or interesting to say in regards to insect-based puns. Such a shame. Usually something I excel in, you know? So, with that in mind, Ant. Not that creative. Not that interesting, but it works. We're gonna go in with it just so we can get started today. I'm looking forward to the dungeon portion, so let's not dawdle too long on the name operations. Besides, even if we do come up with something clever, you never know how the first run of the day is gonna go here, so let's just try this on for size, shall we? And I would like fighting at a good 9 to begin with. Perfect. We can even focus on ranged weapons. Of course, we'll do the usual routine for auto pickup here. Start with everything, trim it down as we go. And last but not least, we'll do a quick morgue file dump. Grab the seed from, oh, over here apparently. I was expecting another monitor, but that's fine. Let's throw this bad boy over here. And we will pop the seed right on the screen there, just in case any of you lovely folks want to join along from at home, see how you fare in the dungeon. And without further ado, we are ready to get going here. I find that Ranger starts have gone pretty dang strong now that we don't have to worry about ammunition. We can kind of just go pure Gatling gun of fury strategies with our bow here. So we should be able to clear the first couple of levels of the dungeon without too much worry. Though, I need to be slightly careful when we have crowds ahead of us like that, because you never know when we'll get a few suboptimal shots and end up getting quite surrounded, and we'll be dumping everything into dexterity as we continue forward here today. And that should be just lovely. Fantastic. One nice thing about ranged builds in the current version of the game is that because it's a heavy dex style for damage, it kind of synergizes nicely with also using long blades or short blades. So we'll very likely be going that route as well as we continue forward here, though we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky enough with the ranged options that we don't have to worry about it. Hey D4000, found my YouTube the other day and loved the channel. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for dropping on by to say hello here. Glad to have you around, and I hope you continue to enjoy the videos. Always lovely to see new faces. So thank you. And not too shabby. Again, there's probably not going to be too much of interest going on bright and early in the run here. I mean, we do have God Decision to come up with at some point, and I'm leaning towards the Shining one is probably my go-to option for a 15 rune character. Ooh, first Orc Priest is not exactly ideal. We can at the very least head to this corner here. Oh no, and Confusion as well. We're definitely one Flame Ball, or what is your Throw Flame? One Throw Flame and Smite away from death, as long as we get unlucky. So let's start chugging potions, looking for curing. Attractive and Might, not what we're going for. There we go, and oops. Alright, let's get Dig off of our quick quiver here, and hopefully we can kill these two before we see the end of our own life. Fantastic. So probably would have been a better idea just to walk away from that fight. There's no real reason to attempt it with the Orc Priest in the background. But hey, we got some early potion IDs through, so it's not the end of the world. And hopefully we'll be able to figure it all out. Do you get a +0 Trident? Sure, I'll pick that up for now. Well, it's unlikely to be a permanent addition to our... what's the word I'm looking for? Our inventory here, I guess, is the simpler way to say it, since my brain is blanking on me at all the important crucial moments today. But well, it's not going to be a permanent addition. It definitely can help out in the early game to have something with reach and a nice ego, so that should be just fantastic. And we are blowing through things here. I will block off Terrence. Oops. Let's not accidentally immediately head down the same stairwell, my bad. But we'll probably be leaving Terrence alone for now. If we do have to fight them, I'd like it to be with a full 7 square distance between us, just so we can get as much early damage in before they get the opportunity for retaliation. And otherwise we should be okay. Grinder, normally a pain in the butt for early game characters. Still kind of rough. This pain could, shocker, hurt quite a bit. But moreover, we don't have to worry about paralyzed on a Formicid. So there's a chance here that we can just blast our way through this son of a gun and get a huge amount of early experience. Fantastic. And we're almost at 1 attack per turn with the short bow, so that is just brilliant. Cannot wear helmets, unfortunately, with our antenna. I mean, that was going to be true whether we went with the Minotaur route or the Formicid, so it's not the end of the world. Let's see, +2 chainmail of willpower, and you have a ring of poison resistance. I would like that ring. 20 health. At this range, I think we can kill you. Ooh, I don't like also having an adder on our tail, so I will bring our adder friend upstairs, and let's just reset the encounter in general here, shall we? +4 ring of protection. Don't mind if I do. I also probably should have been wearing that positive energy ring for when we fought Grinder, but it is what it is, and here we are. Not the end of the world one way or another. Oh, Natasha. Well, I can't run from you right now, so I'm gonna have to kill you at least once, and then try to avoid you as much as possible. Excuse me, Natasha, don't mind me. I'm actually just looking for a Terrence. Have you seen my Terrence? Well, that's a bit of a shame, because we definitely would like to not have to kill the cat any more than absolutely necessary here. And where else can we go? There's a little bit more exploring to do up in this general vicinity. Oh my gosh, UF's here as well? Oh, let's not wake him. Sorry, my friend. Sleep well, my sweet prince. And I guess we might just head down. Not worry too much about things one way or another. Oops, as I just hit tilde by accident a couple of times. Don't actually know what that even does, now that I think about it. Use the cursor to view the map level. Turn the game. Huh. Who knows? Hopefully nothing too strange going on there. But regardless, we'll skip the rest of the floor for now and head right on down. Duvessa, hey? Even the black bear is slightly terrifying in its own right, so we will take a quick hop, skip, and a jump, and then I will quickly defeat Terrence, get that poison resistance ring. That is beautiful. Chainmail is probably a bit too heavy in the armor department, at least for most of the game here. So unfortunately, that's not a great option. Oh my gosh, no. Edmund, this is just a unique filled escapade here today. Holy moly. Well, 20 damage off of you with 44 health is probably a bit more than we are able to bear. I could risk it all with an escape hatch, but now that I've seen the contents of that floor, I don't know if I want to do such a thing. Instead, maybe I'll sneak around here. Hopefully Natasha has left. Excuse me. Natasha, could you please vacate the vicinity, if you could be so kind? Jeez Louise, maybe I can race her to the stairs. Well, seem to have heard me or something. Let's do a bit of a loop-de-loop here. Maybe this time? Beat you to it? Fantastic. There we go. And now we can try and find this ossuary before it shuts down. Slightly concerned about how much time has already passed, but we might be able to do it. Here, a distant avalanche of sand, so not very distant is a good sign. It's also nice fighting against a phantom without needing to worry about getting the blink effect teleporting you everywhere here. Again, we can be thankful for the what is usually a downside on Formicid here. It's nice that it's a bit of a double-edged sword. And fantastic. Otherwise, we'll just keep on keeping on here. Oof. Bit of a heavy smite. Okay. Another one. Please, sir. 69% chance to hit is very nice. Ooh, and very nearby on the ossuary. But only nearby here, so it's definitely to the left here. I do kind of want an opportunity to heal up a bit before jumping into things, especially since I have no idea what still waits us around the corner here. There's the ossuary. Okay, let's try to heal up before heading in, at least as much as we can, without risking a complete collapse. And a bog mummy. Oh, so you can throw frost. That's fun. Should be relatively okay here. Maybe I spoke slightly too early. Oh, the rest of these are just normal mummies? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. Up to 20 damage is still not great, don't get me wrong. But as long as they're not max rolling on every single attack. And I think you're, yeah, 5 damage plus 2, not the end of the world. So let's try to focus down our mummy friend. I'm gonna drink some stuff here. Flying is not what I was looking for. Give me heal wounds. Ambrosia. Okay, it is a healing. Degeneration, and there's heal wounds. So we could break out of the confusion here, but I'm tempted to let it heal us up just a smidge. And that is beautiful. How much damage do you do? Oh gosh, getting far too surrounded here. Not exactly ideal. Let's pop through the doorway again. And I can fly. Not for too much longer here, but I'm pretty sure only the frog is a danger to us. Oh, and a second frog. Perfect. But, oh gosh, and Weavern as well. Where the heck did you come from, my friend? This is a tough ossuary. Holy cow. Guess we are experience level 8, but jeez Louise. Okay, I was hoping I could sneak around, and actually that would have been the way to go. Get this nice little corridor here. As is, we may just be a little bit screwed. Yes, we are. Holy moly. Well, that was a decent start for us here. Unfortunately, we did take a bit of a tumble in that ossuary. Man, that went downhill real fast, to say the least. So we'll be starting up from scratch here. I think we will go with another Formicid, though. At least get time to let them, you know, get a bit of a feel for the dungeon, stretch their legs a bit, and, you know, maybe at the very least get an Arbalist, because that's where things truly start to take off. So let's do it. From the top, once again here, Formicid Hunter, and... Any creative juices flowing, Torinski? Or are we just gonna completely throw in the towel for that one? Could go with my old strategy here. Good old FoHu. I like it. Ooh, and we can start out with some boots. Then, of course, we'll immediately go into the usual routine here. Let's just get all these set up once again. Shouldn't be but a moment. And last but not least, get that dump file created, or the morgue here. And steal the seed to post on the screen. Again, just in case anyone wants to try out a seeded run, play along at home, see how you fare. And with that out of the way, time to get rolling again here. And once more, shouldn't have too many issues at the start of the run. A lost out. What are the Formicid strengths and weaknesses? The biggest thing is their stasis. So they have no ability to teleport or be teleported, to speed up or be sped up. But on the flip side, they also cannot be slowed, cannot be paralyzed, and cannot be, again, force teleported by your enemies as well. So largely a disadvantage, but can definitely be nice. Another strength of theirs is that they have 4 strong arms, and this means that you can carry a two-handed weapon and a shield at the same time, which is just lovely. And that specific trait is a big part of why I'm choosing them for this hunter run, because it is very nice to be able to use some of the two-handed ranged weapons along with a shield, so that you're not giving up all of your defensive capability. And then otherwise, I mean, like aptitudes, they're pretty solid across the board here. Not the best spellcasters, but not too bad either, and just average in every weapon, so you can kind of take them any way you can. Good invocations, good evocations, makes them pretty competent melee or ranged characters. All in all, a pretty sweet race as long as you can get used to the stasis aspect, because that's definitely the trickiest part, when so often things like teleport or blink are the go-to escapes. Unfortunately, not so much of an option on your lovely ant characters. And what else am I missing? I mean, they have antenna as one of their mutations here. I guess the see invisible is nice. Very rarely, the ability to see enemies through walls can be nice. Usually it's more of a bit of a pain in the butt than anything. And the last thing is their ability to dig. So I won't show it off now because it does drain our health to do so, but you're able to dig into any wall that's not highly resistant, I would say. So things like your stone walls that only Shatter can break, not going to be digging through those either. But very nice ability for making little kill shafts for yourself. You can dig little L's into walls, and then you don't have to worry about smite targeting or anything like that. Pretty awesome skill in general. And shaft itself, pretty much a last-ditch effort in terms of survival, but can definitely save you in an emergency situation, and as long as you get lucky, you're not going to end up in too much worse of a spot after you go down. So for more context, that ability, after a slight delay, behaves pretty much exactly the same as a random shaft trap. So you go, what is it, like 1 to 3 floors down? So an interesting option, and kind of almost similar to reading a teleport scroll on an unexplored level. Plus a bit of extra danger, seeing as how generally heading downwards means heading into more dangerous enemies than you're prepared for. But still not too bad whatsoever. In fact, now that I think about it, is that something we could have at least tried on our last Formicid? Don't think we would have had the time. We were getting pretty smote at the moment, so not exactly ideal. +2 robe is better than our leather armor, so we'll immediately swap to that bad boy. That's not too shabby. Amulet of Faith, hey? I mean, it's not horrible with the Shining One, who we're planning to worship for this run. Not ideal either, especially since early game we're not going to be coming across too many opportunities to gain piety. It's only once you start getting into the more evil areas of the game, and specifically once you start fighting a lot of demons, that you really see the piety start to jump on the Shining One. But we'll also have to see what options are available to us in the temple when we get there here. Fantastic. Cool stuff. Leveled the race distinctiveness in this game for sure. Yeah, I agree. Keeps things interesting, and generally, as a rule of thumb, my favorite species are the ones that are a little bit stranger in how they operate and kind of that throw new paradigms into the mix. A Vegetarian Supreme, what other traditional roguelikes have I enjoyed? Not too many. I guess I've enjoyed quite a few, but I always say that none have drawn me in quite like DCSS does. So, you know, I think I started with like Tales of Maj'Al or something like that. Played a bit of Caves of Cud. What else have I tried? I think I did a little bit of ADOM. But at the end of the day, I would say that DCSS is the only one that I really poured any time into or kind of got to the bottom of how they work. But lots of good ones out there. I can't quite place my finger on why DCSS just scratches an itch. The others don't quite have the same staying power, at least for me. And I know there have been a couple people that I've talked to over the course of streaming this game that fall into the same boat, so DCSS, you're doing something right. Definitely tickling that part of the brain for quite a few of us out there. But what about you and everyone else? Any traditional roguelikes that you really enjoy that you would suggest? I guess one that I've been meaning to try out at some point is Rift Wizard. It's a little bit different in format than something like DCSS, but I've heard amazing things about the game, and I've been meaning to give it a shot at some point down the road. Okay, and we see the rusting of a distant drain, so that means that it's not too far from us once again here. Do we dare go into another time portal? Hopefully this one's not quite as rough. Ooh, very distant now, so that would, to me, imply that it goes this way. Oh man, I'd love Rift Wizard, you think? Yeah, that's what I've heard. And a lot of the people that I've seen playing it are also DCS streamers, or players, I guess. Specifically, I'm thinking about Ninth Settler, so it seems like it's up my alley. It's definitely in the right section of games, so I will definitely have to give it a shot at some point down the road. It's on the list, to say the least. There we go. Okay, very nearby for the drain. There she is. And we did get the Ring of Flying just before coming in, so that should suit us very well here, especially if we can get... I guess this is enough deep water for us to cheese the ever-living crap out of everything, so that's beautiful. Can keep that in mind as we blitz our way through. See, now this is a bit more of a reasonable time portal. It's nothing like that ossuary that we were facing last time around. And we're close to the same experience level, I guess a couple less behind our belt here, or under our belt, I should say. Interesting. Maybe I need to look into ossuaries and time portals in general more, because I definitely have a very kind of anecdotal understanding of how they operate here. I believe it's based on your experience level, the difficulty of the zones that you can come across. I guess deep water's not gonna help us here. Don't know why I kept walking. But okay, let's start drinking potions. Degeneration. Perfect, of course. And what else do we get? Potion of flight. That's not gonna do it. Man, here I was talking a big game. Definitely should have started retreating a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, we can't shaft ourselves here. Nothing to dig through. So what can we do? Could maybe swap over to reading scrolls and hope for a fear? That's all that would potentially get us out of here. 19 health, eh? Well, let's just roll the nuts. Okay, amnesia, that's not gonna do it. Oh, geez. Oh, hey. Fear. Well, how about that? Oops, and let's swap over so we have our main ability quivered. We can close the door here. Fortunately, no opposable thumbs. Get absolutely wrecked, suckers. And we can heal up. Oh boy. Okay, so that's definitely a little bit less than ideal of a start for us here, but it's not the end of the world, and hopefully we can get that crowd split up a little bit. See, there we go. Now we're killing them super quickly. If we had this kind of accuracy in the initial encounter, we probably would have been fine even with the crowd, but all is well that ends well here, and we did get some extra things identified, so perfect. You can always shaft yourself in DCSS, you're not wrong. I'm definitely a bit of a sucker for that type of behavior as well. Ooh, and a double sewer on the same level. How about that? That one's not timed. And let's see, what kind of a ghost were you? Definitely feel it. Oh, it's Neil Catrick Harris. How about that? Summon small mammal and call imp. 55% chance to evade us, but only 14 health. We can probably actually fight our way into there. Do we dare? Oh, I dare. May not be intelligent, but here we are. Oh, collapsed entrance. Oh, so this one does collapse. Interesting. So we actually had an opportunity for a double sewer if we were quick enough. Huh. Well, very interesting, but regardless, not going to work out for us today, and we're instead just going to have to keep making our way through the dungeon here. And hopefully having a few less near-death experiences over the next little while. Can you dual-wield two-handed weapons as a Formicid? At least in main crawl, there's unfortunately no dual-wielding. If there were dual-wielding, then yes, you would be able to, because you're definitely able to use two-handed weapons with a shield, so you can run around with, you know, your triple crossbow and tower shield at the ready. Pretty fantastic stuff. Dual wielding would be very interesting, but I'm curious how the game would balance it to make sure it didn't get too overpowered, especially with someone like a Formicid, because it's already super strong to be able to have a two-handed weapon combined with a shield, of course. 73% chance to hit. Come on, you son of a gun. So, what I probably should have done here was, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe shafted myself earlier, or actually better than that, I should have used a Curari dart very early on in the encounter, and that definitely would have done some good work. We could try to blind you. Nope, 3% chance of blinding, never mind. Could still Curari you, but 70% chance to hit, and we'd have to survive a turn. Not exactly ideal. 9 damage and claw twice up to 5 damage. 60% for each hit to make contact with us. Oof. I'm not sure if we can fear you through your berserk, actually. This is the one downside. I'll hold off on the drink. This is my biggest downside on playing ranged characters. they're super autopilot-y for me. So often you're just smashing the tab and taking out everything before it has any opportunity to close the gap. Which then gets me into this situation where I'm like, oh, we can kill it. Just keep firing. Even if the auto attack isn't letting me go because I'm below 50% health, I'll just spam my way through some manual attacks. I'm sure it will be just fine. And here we are, folks. So, I think we just have to go for the kill. I mean, we never don't have it. So how could we possibly lose? Oh, I did use the Curry Dart. Perfect. Like I intended, of course. Absolute genius over here. 100% not just falling or failing forward here, failing upwards. Beautiful. Okay, so let's take this second lease on life and try to do something with it. What the heck is going on this floor?